Uh, Unfortunately, I have to file bankruptcy.
Wow.
And I know, yeah. So my mom had some serious medical bills. She shattered her leg and she for 6 months had this big giant iron metal cast on her leg. And that cost my mom and dad about $300,000. And at the time, I don't know why, but my mom and dad didn't have any health insurance. So they had to file bankruptcy. And so my dad came to me and said, "Hey, I know that you're not really, interested in doing this business, but my lawyer said that I have to get out of this business or I will not be able to file bankruptcy." And so he filed bankruptcy. I took over. He kind of was still clinging on to the business,
right,
for a few years. And then eventually he got out of debt and everything kind of came to fruition with him. And he still is a little part of the business. My mom and dad, now they do our house cleanings for us on the restoration side, on the repair side.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So they still do it a little bit part-time, 1 or 2 days a week, not too much.
So it sounds like you had a pretty similar experience. So did you actually operate as a ride tech restoration franchise for a little while?
I did.
Okay. How long did that?
I had ride tech for about 1 year.
Okay.
And I learned the ins and outs of every single thing of restoration, water damage, every single thing you can possibly think of. Learning from Joe and Max, my business partners, and then also insurance adjusters.
Yeah.
About 1 year in, they were doing some things that I did not really like. And so I actually removed myself from the business.
Understood. Don't need to go into any more detail. I understand sometimes those partnerships aren't exactly what they're supposed to be. Okay. So you decide, hey, not going to be a part of Ride Tech anymore.
Yep.
I'm going to go back to my dad's cleaning company. But instead of being A. Andrews and Son Cleaning, you guys became
A. Andrews and Sons Cleaning and Restoration. That's exactly right.
All right. What was that?
That was 2019, actually, is when we started doing water damage and restoration. So I was owners with them 2018. And then that's when we did transition everything over to the restoration side. Yeah. So basically what I did was we had a campaign for basically 1 month campaign. We set a goal. We had about 40 five-star reviews on Google when we started the campaign.
Yeah.
And we set off a goal. Believe it or not, our goal was just to get 60. That was our goal.
Well, you knocked that out of the park, my friend.
Yeah. And so what we did was we had a program. It's just an app, and it was just basically just sending text messages to basically every single customer we've ever had back from 2016. So it went back really far.
Okay, so you guys had the names and cell phone numbers of all the clients that you worked with in this period. And you guys decided to do like a reactivation campaign. Reach out to those folks and ask for reviews. Okay. By the way, if any of you guys are interested, my company can help you set up a program like that. Now, with that being said, Matt, what did you say in those messages that resonated with folks that probably hadn't worked with you in years, right? Since you did the job?
Yeah. So there, of course, there was a couple people that said, "Who is this? I've never worked with you before in my entire life." Other people were like, "Oh, I remember you and your dad." So we had lots of different people say different things. And I think if I would have just let the program run, I probably would have gotten, 20, 30 reviews on its own without even saying anything. But what I know what worked the best is every single time someone said, "Who is this?" Or even said, "Oh, hey, I remember you guys, how have you been?" I responded back with a photo of myself in front of my vein.
Okay.
And I sent them that first. And then I said, "Hey, this is Matt Sinay with A. Andrews and Sons. We, cleaned your carpets back in 2016. We did restoration for you in 2021, whatever we did. And I said, we have a goal right now to get to 60 reviews. And, we're reaching out to past customers for work that we did. And we're a family business. And this is vital for me and my family's growth of our online presence, and just me and my family, just for our, well-being.
Sure.
And our, to increase our business. And every single person, after I said, oh, this is a family business, they said, where do I give you the review?
That's awesome, man. Now, I'm sure when you showed up, whether it was for cleaning or restoration services, you and your team did a great job. But them seeing that picture of you in front of your service van, you reminding them, hey, this is a family business. This is how I take care of my family, how my team takes care of their family. Tug on those heartstrings a little bit. And they would sign me up, man. Let me write a review for you. So you went from a little over 40 reviews to where I think you're at what, 115, 120 at this point?
I think it's 117.
Awesome, man.
So I went out there and she had just one room. It wasn't too big of a job. But by the time that we got there though, because she doesn't, most homeowners, they don't know whether to get rid of it right away. She kind of had mold and it was going on for a couple of days now.
Okay.
So I said, hey, we're going to be coming back here tomorrow. I already talked to the adjuster, everything. Everything was approved.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to get started. And she goes, well, what do you need for me to do? And I said, just live your life. I will go take care of everything. Don't worry about a thing. And I said, what I definitely don't want you to do, and a lot of homeowners do this, is don't put any of those fans that I see in the living room in that room. Don't do anything of those sorts. Don't even go in that room. Just stand in that room. So we come back tomorrow morning, the next day. And what do I come to find is all the fans in that room.
Oh, no.
And on top of not just that room, she has the door open. She has all of the fans kind of leading, so it blows all of the spores into the rest of her house. So now this $5,000 job just turned into an entire mold job. We got the house tested because I said, she's a 90-year-old lady. I want her to be safe.
Right.
Every single room in her house tested for mold.
Oh.
We had to pack out her entire house. We had to, about half of her house drywall had to be removed, floors. It turned into, I think this was at the time, it was like a $250,000 job.
Wow.
It turned into a huge shop. And she had a roommate, and her roommate was not all there. And it was kind of funny though, because every single time we go there, she'd forget who we were, and then she'd be like, "Oh, I remember now who you guys are." But sometimes we show up and she'd try to shoo us away, like, "Who are you guys?" And so anyway, once we finished the job, which this job took us about 3 months, and so because it was a very large job, me and my wife were actually going out there every single day or every other day. We got to know this girl really, really, really well. And she, at one point, when it come to time to pay for everything,